finally today, it's a name that's invariably linked with the stallions of fine Italian auto design. Pininfarina, an 8-decade-old Turin, Italy icon, helped define the legends of Alfa Romeo, Maserati, and Ferrari, my dream. In the last few decades, sibling company Pininfarina Extra expanded that influence into industrial and interior design, and they're now collaborating with Britain's architecture major Aedas to bring to the market interior design expertise for homes, businesses, and hotels. Our guests in this final segment of the show today are Matteo de Lise, Pininfarina Extra's International Business Director, and Keith Griffiths, Chairman of Aedas's Global Board. Welcome, gentlemen, to the show.
Good morning. Okay,
the nuts and bolts of designing from the ground up and the sometimes grind work of civil engineering and Ferrari, the house of Ferrari, the design house that helped build Ferrari together. It sounds like night and day, just kind of like how you're both dressed. Keith.
Okay, well, let's start from the basics here. When we're designing buildings, they need to have quite often added value in order to sell, particularly in a competitive market. So if we're looking at the Asian market today, putting up residential buildings, hotels, offices, shopping centres, what is it that makes a point of difference? What is it that will attract the customer or the buyer to a residential property or somebody who's going to stay in a hotel?
What's the answer to that question? Something out of the box, something a little bit different than the cookie cutter approach?
Exactly. Something which is branded, something which is special, something which is bespoke, something which is really, really very, very special and upmarket, and that is what Pininfarina do.
So, Matteo, welcome to the show, and it's very, very nice to meet you. Are we going to see Ferrari look-alike buildings popping up in major cities in the world, or do you have to sort of adapt some of your technology and some of your concepts?
Indeed. But the approach of Pininfarina to design, it really varies according to the kind of product and features that this product should have. Of course, a car and a building has totally different functionalities and has to be also a different kind of look and user experience. But this is what Pininfarina has been very good in developing in its 80 years of history, in developing the right experience and the right feeling for a different kind of products.
What and how far along in this relationship, in this collaboration, are you right now? It's just announced, so. Do you start from the ground up? Does the conceptualization process go, or were you basically in talks, and do you have a game plan all set up? I'm just kind of wondering when we're going to see the effect of this, when we're going to actually feel the impact out there in interior design, in the actual nuts and bolts and the physical sort of impression.
I think you see it very soon. We opened our Torino office about 6 months ago, and we met Pininfarina only about 6 months ago, so we're moving already very quickly. We've got the collaboration in place. The next step is to look for the opportunities for us to work together, and they come fast and furious. We've got developers falling over themselves to work with our collaboration. If you look at some of the products that we can put together, it can be as simple as ironmongery, branded ironmongery, Pininfarina branded ironmongery handles on a door, or wash basins in a hotel, or it can be an entire suite, a high roller suite in a casino, or a presidential suite in a hotel, or indeed it can be branding a shopping centre. Keith and I have often talked in the past about green initiatives and the fact that you don't just put up beauty in this day and age. You're sensitive to the surroundings, you're sensitive to things like ventilation, and when people are still worried about climate change and global warming, you are sensitive to issues like that, and you want to be seen as being an earth-friendly sort of a company. I'm just curious, how green is a company like Pininfarina? You've designed some pretty high horsepower autos in the past for Maserati and Ferrari, among others.
Right, but actually we don't just want to be seen in that sustainability market, but also we are quite active. Indeed, Pininfarina, beside the sports car, is also invested a lot in a new project for a totally electric car, developed with our financial, one of the most renowned financial entrepreneur in Europe, who is Vincent Bolloré. He developed a very interesting and innovative battery technology, and we are going to endorse this in a car that is going to be branded Pininfarina and launched in the market probably in 1 or 2 years.
Mm-hmm. Keith, you mentioned high rollers. That kind of stuck in my mind. Are you aiming for the very, very, very top of the market? I mean, we're in a kind of a different paradigm in this day and age, and a lot of design houses have been looking to appeal to a wider market, which perhaps has lowered their sights or become a little more down to earth in their aspirations. So is Pininfarina something that I, as a consumer, would be able to get my hands on, or would it be beyond my grasp? I'm kind of wondering what your market segmentation and positioning is in this case.
Very much bringing design to the market, not just the high-end market. Yes, of course, you've got high-roller suites, or you've got presidential suites in hotels, but very much bringing quality design, crafted design to the mass market. Does
this in any way dilute the Pininfarina name? I mean, you have been associated with the very, very top. If more people become exposed to the impact of Pininfarina concepts and design, what does that mean? Is that only good for the company, or how do you kind of envision, keeping the brand image up and yet appealing to a wider swath of people at the same time?
But I have to say that this is not a new thing for Pininfarina, because for sure we designed Ferrari, Maserati, but we have been traditionally linked also to brands like Alfa Romeo, like the Duetto that you have seen in the movie with Dustin Hoffman. So many cars that are not necessarily top luxury or high-end. So Pininfarina's mission has always been the one of giving the best design and the most research quality, and this is what makes the Pininfarina design high-end. The quality of it and the beauty of it, not necessarily the price or the cost in order to get there.
There's always in the past, there was always this joke, or there was always this misconception that Italian design is very, very sleek, but like a national car brand, Fiat, it was always like, fix it again, Tony. You worried at all about that sort of thing, Keith?
No, not at all. It's our job. I think Aedas is very well known throughout the world for product delivery, security and safety. Right. And Pininfarina very, very much look after their product and ensure that it's a well-built product.
I'm looking forward to seeing this impact in hopefully my home, the hotels, and everywhere else. Okay? Nice meeting you, gentlemen. And best of luck with the collaboration. That'll do it for this edition of AC. Thank you very much for joining us. Be sure to keep in touch with us, okay? Keep those emails coming to me.
Asia Confidential was brought to you by BNP Paribas, the bank for a changing world.
You now can watch Charlie Rose around the globe, weeknights on Bloomberg Television.
This January, for Mom and Dad, it's a trip down memory lane.
It will be a real thrill.
And for the kids, a journey back in time.
Wow! It's amazing!
This average family will live through the 70s.
We've really spent time around the table as a family.
80s.
This was technology that I was awestruck by 20 years ago.
And 90s.
This is much nicer than the 80s.
Electric Dreams, coming in January to history.
Which broker has the lowest commissions and provides the best trade execution? Successful investors focus